Well, hello again, guys, and welcome to Doggo Draws! Again, we're going back to playing. Yes, we are playing art. It's a game now. Actually, art is kind of, I mean, it's entertainment, whatever. This is back to the Sedimentary Sand Drake, Part 2. Part 1 was just a couple days ago, on Sunday, but we didn't finish the image, so we're back for Part 2 now. And we'll be doing other things today as well, streamgoers. But we're starting out with this, because I want to finish this. I don't know how, actually I do know how. The first part of this picture, it does not seem like I did a lot for a part 1, but in truth, I did so many line edits, as demonstrated by basically turning off everything, but no, stop. If I turn off these layers, all these line edits are mine. I'm clearly reworking the thing in his mouth in the first picture. By the way, it's a dinosaur. What kind of dinosaur? Just a dinosaur. Baadan here lives in his own universe, his own world, so it's a dinosaur from that world. It's not Earth, so it is a game category, theoretically speaking, yeah. But anyways, before I get fully started, though, if you like the video, do give it a like. Art takes effort. Please like the video, and also give a subscription to me if you haven't already. Subscribe. It's good times. Hit the bell. Also, come by my Twitch. Help me reach partner. It's been something of a goal for literally 4.5 years, and we still haven't reached it because I'm cursed. So please, help break the curse. Come by my Twitch. Let's get partner together. And also, we have a pretty cool Discord server. You want to come by, hang out, and talk with cool people. But so for those unaware, I'm just going to announce this for every stream I do for the rest of the week here. We're almost to a vacation, or rather, I am. When Easter Sunday hits, I'm not going to be streaming for 2 weeks. Don't worry, there will still be content releasing because I planned ahead. There's going to be a video releasing on YouTube every single day that I am not streaming. Or, well, actually, every single day that I'm gone during my vacation. So, every single day out of those 2 week periods, so 14 days, there will be a video released on YouTube. So, make sure to watch my YouTube if you're only on Twitch. Because you're going to see content over there that you won't otherwise see. So, if you see this in the YouTube, then you will die. Oh, Director Punk, please don't kill them. I need them to come over to help me get partner. That's the only reason I care. Generic dinosaur. It's not completely generic. I gave it like a club tail because I was like trying to be creative about it. And also, it's banana colored. It's a bananasaur. Bananasaur. Delicious. Probably full of potassium. Oh yeah, Pictionary is a game involving drawing. I haven't played Pictionary in a long time. Reminds me of your banana rappy. Oh yeah, yeah. My banana rappy's a cutie. That much is for sure. But also, Carsur Riss, are you here? I have a thought, or a thing I'd like to posit. Right. So, from what I hear, your inoculation on Wednesday will not make you feel weird Wednesday. It'll make you feel weird like Thursday or Friday. Apparently, it doesn't immediately affect you. 100 average viewers would be the prime number to hit. Yeah, Car, so it also means that you're probably going to feel okay for Pokerol. That's what I wanted to bring up. Also, I did a little research because okay, first off, we can't say the C word here. That's not allowed. You could say cunt. Maybe a dirty word, but that's actually a safer word to say than the actual C word we can't say. So remember, I am technically a mature streamer. Never forget. But yeah. I like how the virus can't be said, but I could say crasser words and it's fine. But yeah, so apparently a lot of you guys in the US are getting access to the vaccine, which is cool. So I asked my boyfriend, hey, wait a minute, why haven't I heard anything about this up here in Canada where we are? Canada doesn't really have access to it. If you're 85 plus, you can get it, but that's it right now. So, fucking... That's cool. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm glad that people are getting inoculated regardless, but I'm a little annoyed over the fact that the U.S. was one of the worst countries as far as containment, and yet they're getting all the shots first? Alright, well, I mean, I guess they needed the most, but it's their own damn fault, is my attitude. But I do think that I think 85 plus makes sense. I totally think that. It's just a little bit annoying to see that it's being, well, unfairly distributed, effectively, I guess. It sucks. We can't get it up here yet. We don't have the infrastructure in Canada to manufacture it the same way. Pumpkin, you're terrible. I could technically say it on Twitch, but since this goes to YouTube, you dingus. All the reason the restriction of vaccination lifted such that it's not only the internet. It's so annoying though. I just wish that it could be mass produced more easily or something, so that we don't have to like one country can get it the same as another country can, you know? Best virus stomach 16 for. That's true, but this one was more serious, so it's understandable this one gets the vaccine. So Germany's being a bit weird of it too. I wonder how other countries in like Europe are handling it. Europeans talk about it if you like. I'm kind of curious what the state of the vaccine is all around places. I mean, I'm sure us and Cab will get it eventually together for like everyone, but I have a distinct feeling we're gonna have to buy it off of the U.S., which might be pricey. But anyways, what we're gonna do with Baadan here. So he's been fully colored, and I fixed up his lines to improve that. What needs to be done now is we need to shade him and create a background. So honestly, there's not that much left to do, but the shading will take a bit. There's a lot of shading to do. I think I'll do the fast and loose approach for the shading, though, instead of being very precise about it. Let's try this. Obviously, the reason this is a big project is because it's literally 3 pictures. It's not just a project, it's technically 3. So that's why it's been a bit of work. But let's see here. Okay, there we go. And yeah, that's probably fine. Oh, this will be a lot shorter. I know for a fact that the workload, like, we actually spent 13 hours on this picture already. Actually, no. No, it was 11 and a half? 11 and a half, I think. I'd have to double check. But, oh, that's a problem. If I... Okay. Just thinking. Honestly, I don't even really think we need to spend that long on the shading in the first place. Let me just kind of pop it together a bit. Like I said, I think I'll play a bit fast and loose. Today is kind of a weird day. It's kind of a grab bag stream we're doing today. But like Vore focused. So a Vore-riety stream. That's terrible. Actually. Yes, we'll just do the boy. Shade him up. I don't know if I like this shading color. I might change it. I'll figure that out in post. Shade that bum. He has a good bum. I think that's really about it for that one. Oh, he's got good paws, for sure. Honestly, he is a very solidly made character. For a character I made 8 years ago, he is exceptionally well done. Like, I think I did a great job on him. Like, just coming up with his design choices and such. He's very much... He has a good silhouette. He definitely looks draconic, but he has a distinctness to him. It's really what does it is that fluff that he has and how it's positioned. But actually, the fluff is supposed to go into his chest sometimes, but I don't mind it either way. It looks pretty good either way, so... Speaking of Vore, I was reading through the Lancer rule set. There's some Vore potential there? Really? In the Lancer rule set. I mean, there are those Vore fish in, like, Mega Man X1. So, okay. Yeah. Beta? Do you really want me to hang out with Beta? I don't know. Beta seems fine. But he's kind of hit that... I don't know if he'd care. I don't think he'd give a shit about me. Why would he give a shit about me? He's way too big to give a shit about me. I would say. But then again, you know, some furries are cool. All depends. All depends. Is he a Jit the Squirrel sort of Papa Furry? Or is he a Nico the Circle sort of Papa Furry? It's hard to say. That comparison probably makes no sense to either of you, but to put it simply, Jit's an awesome guy. I'm glad I talked to him. Glad I got to talk with him and got him in the game. That one Nom game. Even if the Nom game didn't go perfectly, it was still fun. Nico, meanwhile, will not return by any of my messages, so okay. Like... Nico played a game that I literally translated. I left a comment saying, "Hey, thanks for playing," and "Hey, here's some thoughts and stuff," and questions, and he never even gave me time of day. Seems kind of weird to ignore the translator of the game you're playing, but alright. Not to say I'm super poor, and I did a shitty job of that translation. I made it good enough to play, but in English, but that's about all. That's about as far as I could say about my translation. It is now playable in English. That is about the extent of the quality of this translation. But, it just kind of sucks when people don't respond. A lot of YouTubers don't. I really actually find it very irritating how often people don't respond to their audience. I get it sometimes. Don't get me wrong. People are overwhelming. I've seen that myself. But there should always be some sort of social medium, you know? That's how I feel anyways. That's probably part of the reason I talk to you guys. That's the reason I'm so communicative during streams. Because, like, I just don't like it when people don't talk to their audience. Dude, it's your audience. They're watching you. They're giving you attention. They're giving you money. Fucking talk to them. They kinda... I feel like there is some deserving aspects of socialization at that point. Obviously, I don't have time to individually talk to everyone, but when I'm doing a stream or read my YouTube comments and see a really good comment, like, yeah, why not fucking respond? Dude, I have 500 comments on my Vore ASMR video, and I've still kept up on them. because yeah, it's possible that I reach a point where YouTube becomes less viable to read through. Yeah, absolutely. But like, I think I can always read some comments. I can always skim all the new comments I got. I can go through all the comments I've gotten and just respond to the ones that I think are most worthy of response, which I do anyways, because there's a lot of dumb comments out there that really don't deserve a response. But there's also some really well thought out comments that I would want to respond to because I think they're interesting. I think they're fascinating. I'd like to respond to them. I run into quite a few comments like that, actually. There's some real quality comments out on YouTube. And I've seen really quality comments on other people's channels, and they never respond to those comments, and it always, like, infuriates me. And sometimes there's, like, really important questions. Like, sometimes I've tried to approach certain YouTubers with questions I think are quite important, actually. For instance, Daily Dose of Internet. Really lovely channel. I love the guy, but again, it's kind of annoying how little he responds to his audience. I asked him a very important question because I found a company that claimed to have him as one of their content creators under their sponsorship thing, and that's part of the advertisement they were off. Like, they were advertising that, hey, they were advertising they wanted to sponsor me. I felt it was a scam, or at least a little illicit. But they listed Daily Dose of Internet as like one of their major sponsors. Like, it was big on their page. So I went to Daily Dose of Internet's Twitter and I was like, hey, dude, these people are advertising you. Like, could I just get confirmation that you're actually part of them or whatever? Because I'm not really sure. Never got a damn response. If I was Daily Dose of Internet, I would prioritize that response, because not only is it a question to answer to help somebody else out, but it's also a question to clarify whether or not I'm part of a possibly illicit organization. Which seems kind of important to answer, don't you think? But no response, because of course not. They're a YouTuber. Why would they respond to their audience? It's just annoying, man. Like, there's so many reasons why it would have been good for them to respond to my question, but they didn't. Just to cover their own butt in that, for that matter, because, like, I was legitimately curious, like, are you part of these guys? Never got a response, so I just kind of, like, ignored the issue after that, because, like, whatever, I can't get an answer. And I get it, it's not malicious. Obviously, it's not malicious. I'm not malicious when I can't respond to people. Some people are very hostile for my attention. I don't appreciate that. Please don't ever push somebody for a response, right? Just don't do that. But, like, regardless of whether or not I'm responding to people, I will always answer an important question or something that actually is... If somebody comes to me with an actually, like, good question, I have no problems answering it. It's just that there are a lot of times the sort of comments I get, the sort of people pushing me for responses are usually like, can I RP with you? Or they want to say, hi! It's like, hi. Okay, what was the point of just saying hi? Like, throw me something interesting to talk about. Throw me something that I actually, like, is worth responding to, you know? I am busy. Keep that in mind. I am always, unfortunately, busy. Unfortunately, only one person. I can't respond to everybody. So if you're wanting me to comment or read something you're writing, it's good to consider what you are saying. Is it valuable? Is this in some way an interesting thing for me to read? Because that's the thing. Like, I think it's important for YouTubers and streamers to talk to their audience, but I also think it's important for the audience to consider what they're talking about. It goes two ways. I think that the content creators need to give a little more respect and attention to the audience, but the audience also needs to curate themselves and try to consider it, okay, well, this person is quite busy, so if I'm going to talk to them, I should think about what I am saying. You know? But, being flooded with stuff. Try finding a business email or something like question like that. Damn, dude, I've been flooded before, but I still managed to actually... Like, I can still know that I got a comment. Except for that one time where YouTube disabled my fucking... YouTube disabled all replies I ever received for a while. It wasn't for too long, but... Once I figured it out, Once I figured out what was going on, I was kind of upset. Basically, anytime anybody replied to me for a while on YouTube, I would not see the reply. I was really annoyed about that. So it seems YouTube might be deleting random comments I get on my profile anyways. I actually watched a video by Addy Lovestar, who used to be Playable Passion. He's actually a person with MPS, same as me. So they are, rather. But he's been addressing how YouTube has been deleting comments that he receives, and he'd love to respond to, but they're just randomly deleted, perhaps because of a word or something that YouTube didn't agree with. Not that Addy cared, not that Addy actually minded, but it was deleted anyways. So if you ever try to comment to me, and then your comment goes away, and you weren't being a troll, that's not me deleting your comment, that's YouTube. I only really delete, like, actually mean comments. I don't delete proper comments. Even little silly comments that I don't respond to because I don't really feel like there's any reason to, I'll still let them exist. They're not harm anybody. Mr. That is Robux. Yes, I'm offering free Robux. I'm not a scammer. I'm not a scammer at all. Free Robux. Such a classic stupid scam. Or spam like free iPad. Yeah, I'm totally Markiplier. YouTube doesn't care what the content creators want or are okay with. Yeah, YouTube is not about you. That's the sad truth. It just isn't. Let's see, is that okay? Did I go alright on that? I kind of slightly rushed the shading, admittedly, but... I mean, it's mostly okay, but I have one thing I need to fix. And that is... Nope. Let's lower the saturation a bit. Keep in mind, I only shaded one color so far. I kind of just wanted to give this a casual shading, I'll be honest. I didn't want to spend hours on it. Seemed a tad unnecessary. Let's see here. Lower the shade just a little bit, like that. Yeah, that's probably good. But actually, I could do one more thing. There we go. Yeah, that's good. The nice thing about shade is you don't have to be precise with it. You can be a bit sloppy with it and still adds to the picture, you know? I think the rule of 2 works well here, though. If you're going to be sloppy with your shading a little bit, make sure to also add lighting. Always do a... If you add lighting to one side and shading to the other side, regardless of how clean it is, it will always do a nice bit of pop. You'll always get a nice... You'll get a nice bit of perspective on the picture. Also, Ark, what? There's one thing you bet that Baadan would love that isn't Vorish. Let's see. The blind tend to have a greatly enhanced sense of touch. Oh, absolutely. Touch, hearing, and smell are all very enhanced. It's also why you can get some real... You can get him doing quite the loud growl. Quite the deep, almost a little intimidating growl if you rub his belly. Like here. Because, yes, he has a lot of sensitivity. Alright, now to add, not Luminancy because it looks like shit. Screen is what I meant. Yeah, there we go. So I don't think I'll add light to the back because his fluff will be blocking most of that light. As it should, by the way. Because that fluff is there to protect him from the sun. He's a desert dweller. It's there to basically prevent him from having sunburn issues. Aww. That sounds lovely, Ark. What is this? This is apparently a... I don't under... This remix album's weird. It remixes Donkey Kong country music, but in a way that makes me not even understand it's Donkey Kong country music. It's actually kind of impressive. That just makes me realize I need Donkey Kong country music in my music collection. That's good shit. I don't really have that, I think. Aside from this remix album. Actually, let's see. Do I have any... Okay, I do have some. I'm going to now play some Doggo country music because I'm in the mood for it. Well, I guess I'll let this play out. It's pretty good too. Perhaps use summon for poker roll? That's not a terrible idea. This remix album is so diverse that I could. Wait, that gives me a... Wait, hold on. That gives me an interest... You know what? Good idea, actually. You know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to... We're going to listen to this whole remix album and think about that while we do so. Oh my god, it's huge. I didn't realize how long it was, actually. Hold on. I think it starts here. Yeah, this is good. I can multitask. I work on this and then think about that. Excellent idea. This is looking nicely shaded. I could tell personally that I'm being a bit lazy with this particular shame. Like, I could tell that I'm not being as precise as I could be with the shame, but what do you guys think so far? I think it's looking pretty good, personally. Maybe the opacity of the screen layer could be a little lower, though, and maybe it's a little too bright. Yeah, turn it down like that much. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, cool. That is actually kind of nice, Ark. I like the way you put that. Yeah, this remix album's weird as hell. Like, sometimes it'll go into like, oh, I recognize that Donkey Kong country song, and then it just goes like, Here's a Caribbean remix. Like, what? Where'd that come from? I kind of dig it, though. I dig the complete confusion it causes, in a way. SpongeBob! Yeah, it's turned to... So Doggo Country mixed with SpongeBob. As you do. Also, Ark, I'm glad to see you so happy about this guy. Also, for anybody that is confused because they haven't seen the Sunday stream, and is confused what Ark is talking about, yeah, this boy here is blind. He is blind from birth, actually. Well, basically, he had the misfortune of being born in a sandstorm, and it destroyed his eyes almost immediately. Because younglings are not very strong, put it simply. The reason I decided to make a blind character is I just thought it seemed really interesting. You don't see it very often. I also didn't really create it as, like, be sad he's blind, sort of. That was never the point of that detail, never the point of that design choice. Baadan himself calls it an event. He doesn't call it a terrible thing that happened or a disability. He just calls it an event, the fact that he's blind. He's kind of neutral about it. He doesn't really mind it. Also, it doesn't really disable him. Fortunately, Balukath are quite capable beasts, and his other senses more than made up for the lack of sight. You could describe color to blind people? Well, some colors kind of have taste, so I could see that. If that statement sounds weird, think about it. How many of you have had generic orange drink, for instance? It's not really orange juice, it's just orange drink, you know? You could associate colors with taste if you think about it. This is probably not the way that Ark is approaching the matter. This is the dog way of approaching it. I guess you could say. But it's still a viable approach, I'd say. I could. He's looking more vibrant now. It's a good boy. All right, so let's move down and next. So we basically, if you haven't been here for my techniques, basically how shading works is, for how I do it, is basically I go one color at a time and shade it, and then I go the next color, and then I shade that color. And then we're done eventually. So, did his main body color, now to do his secondary color. Which, let's see how it looks multiplied. Yeah, it looks good. I think I can work with that. Okay, so. Blue water is cool and refreshing. Blue sky is far and endless. Yeah. Association. It's all about association. I'm gonna cycle through the songs a bit. Stop when I reach a song that sounds interesting that I could maybe use for Pokerol. Because I like that thought. Wow, this is for a map screen theme. What fucking majestic map screen music. At least I think it is. It says submap shuffle. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. I believe this is actually a remix album. Part of the reason I have trouble remembering it, part of the reason I have trouble picking out the songs is this is actually a remix album for Donkey Kong Country 3. AKA the Donkey Kong Country that nobody really cared about, comparatively at least. Not to say it was a bad game, but it just didn't quite hold up to the others. I can understand disliking Donkey Country 1 because it was a little bit... I mean, it was the first one, so it had some kinks to iron out, but... I think most people would actually say that Donkey Country 1 is better than 3, and I don't know if I disagree with it. It's kind of hard. Like, 3 had stuff going on that was interesting, for sure, but like... So there was something kind of missing, a bit of a spark missing. The best one is definitely Donkey Country 2, though, out of the 3. A little butt shading there. Good. Looks pretty good. This is such an emotional song. I don't know, I find it kind of funny, because I don't think... Pretty sure the original song wasn't. And now there's a guitar. I will hand it to the remix album people. They fucking pulled out all the stops. I just don't know why they did. Sometimes. I think the dullest thing about Donkey Country 1 is the boss fights. Which is also, incidentally, the thing I like most about Donkey Country 2, I think. DKC 2 had great boss fights. And a great boss fight theme. Probably the best theme, probably the boss theme in the series. Just in general. The GBA remakes were okay. I like that they added a boss fight. Doggo Country 2, I like that they added a boss fight at the end of the final world, which previously didn't have it. Final proper world. The castle. I think that boss fight was fine, too. Like, I'm just glad it was there, because, like, it did kind of seem weird that there wasn't one. It felt like a bit... the original game felt like it, like, ran out of budget or something for that particular scene. So it was nice to see an actual fight there. They did destroy the music, because that's just the GBA for you, honestly. At least a lot of times. The GBA, I would, you know, I defend and love a lot of different video game systems sound fonts. Like, some people don't like the Genesis, think it's weak. I actually disagree. I think it's quite powerful with certain types of music. So I actually really love a lot of video game system sound fonts and how they can produce sound and music. But that is most certainly not the case with the Game Boy Advance, which I kind of despise. There is still good music on the GBA, but generally the best music is the ones that didn't use samples, which is kind of GBA's thing. But the best music that came out of the thing was generally the stuff that was based on 8-bit sound font, like 8-bit bytes and stuff, which just sounded better, honestly, on that system than its actual like higher quality instrumentation abilities, which higher quality quote unquote, but it sounded like muddy and bad in my opinion. GBA can be good if you work with it instead of trying to fight it and put music from another system onto it. Exactly, which too many people did. Again, making overuse of samples. The samples can be good, but oftentimes they were used pretty poorly. Golden Sun forever. Yeah, Golden Sun did a good job. That was a good soundtrack. And as much as I don't really like the game, as I've stated before, Wario Land 4 for GBA, gotta hand it to it, it did the sample shit really well. Like, that was probably probably one of the best examples of how to do the sample stuff on GBA, like, actually good. I don't know if I'd say I like the music per se, but I definitely like the skill of it. Minish Cap did a good job. Minish Cap did a good job too. Oh yeah, hell yeah. You made me want to put this on. Mount Criddle. Very freaking good song for Minish Cap. The shading's too thin. I'll enhance it in a minute. Minish Woods? I don't remember that one. Might also be good, though. Shade the paw. I actually did shade the paws. This is the shading is kind of light. I'll be messing with it in a minute. Once I apply this layer of shading, I'm actually going to darken it. But let me finish applying it first, so I don't. Because If I darken it and then keep shading, I'll probably change how I'm doing the shading because I've changed how it's lit, which will probably cause an inconsistency. So I'll just leave it how it is for now and then change it in a minute. Also, I want something now. Hold on. There we go. Much better. I'm just gonna never mind the idea of listening to that soundtrack. I want to pull up certain songs now. I have a bunch of Doggo country music, but it's remixed to Genesis, which is what we're listening to right now. This is not the best one, actually. There's better ones. Still not bad, though. Makes me think of Echo the Dolphin. Okay, so this shade's too light. We're gonna fix that. That I've applied it all. Drop the saturation? No, drop the lightness. Up the saturation. Up the saturation more? No. Subtle. I don't want to drop the saturation. Or I don't want to drop the lightness too much. Something like that, maybe? Nah, it's too much. Not to mention, I applied this one a little too messily, I think. I'll clean it up. Alright, just darkening that probably is fine. There, okay. Yeah, I definitely played that too messily. You show off your KK songs. Do you guys want to hear my KK songs? Once I get my Dog and Country fix, I'll play my KK songs. Yeah, Dog and Country 2 definitely had the best music. Fucking just the solid ass beats, man. I apologize if the shading's a bit light on the feed and stuff, Beerus, but there will be a second layer of belly shading, though, at least. As is my trend. I can shade over sections to make it darker, so I'll do that. Here and there. There we go, like the feet a little bit darker in the shading there, and then a little darker here. That's only DuckTales, one moment. I must shuffle for other music. Wait, where's the rest of the Genesis music? I know there's more for DKC. Hold on. It's probably a different category. Some stuff is a bit spread out. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. There's a few more. Also, here's a better rendition of Aquatic Ambience than the one we just heard. This is a much better Genesis rendition. You only know this song from memes? Oh, the mood song, yes. Well, it was originally just a really good song, too. Shane is still a little bit on the faint side. Why did I start talking with William Shatner there? It's still a little... Okay. A little dark. A little light. Spock. Also, thank you for the follow. I'm going to be adjusting here. Hold on. A little bit adjusting. Just a little bit adjusting. That's good. I think I'll just take that and run with it. Okay, let's add some lighting to basically balance stuff out. You could. One thing I've learned is that if you could actually overshade, like shade more of an area of a picture than you should, and then just mitigate that by adding lightness over top of it. For instance, I overshaded like right here on this belly. I overshaded, but what I can do is I probably want to turn that down, but I just kind of drop some light there and kind of spread it into the areas I shade too much, and boom, there you go. So in other words, lighting can touch up shading effectively. How do you do shading? I don't fucking know. I use a shading tool. I turn up its gradient a lot, so it's very, very blurry. Like just a demonstration. This is how blurry my tool is usually. And then I just kind of apply this on top of the image. And usually lower the opacity a bit. I like subtle shading. Some artists have gone to me and said, like, you need to shade more boldly, and I'm like, nah. It's stylistic. It's a stylistic difference, that's all. There's also a common rule. If you're doing shading, shade the lowest, or shade the highest parts of the picture first and work your way down. If you're doing lighting, shade the lowest parts of the picture first and work your way up. Because that's an easier way to clean up any mistakes you might make. Because if I do some lighting on the lower parts, inevitably when I add like lighting here, it's going to add lighting up here where I don't want it, but I could just quickly switch to the erase version and just erase it real quick like that. And then I can move up higher, etc., etc. Very easy. I actually don't mind if there's a bit of looseness with my lighting, because you have to remember this was originally a really messy sketch. So it's okay if what I put together is not perfect. Because honestly, I've already escalated this drawing well and far beyond its original scope, so it's not really a big deal if my shading isn't perfect. It's kind of like, it's kind of a case of, you don't need to be that hard on yourself as an artist, you know? Just do a good job and, yeah. And we're doing pretty subtle shading on this picture, and I think that's working well. Also, if you're having trouble erasing a part that you didn't mean to shade, just switch to a pen tool, nice hard solid pen tool, and then just carefully erase around the edges of a line where you wanted your shading or line to stop, and then you're done. You're good. Switch back to your shade tool and continue. So. Again, I'm just gonna pop a bit of light right in the middle here, because it looks pretty good, I think. Maybe not that much. Let's dial it back a bit. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'll blur it to... And if you don't like a section you put down, like you just added some, you know... You just added a bit of shade, but you don't quite like maybe it looks a little too circular or whatever, just bring out a blur tool and just start attacking the edges of it for a bit. It'll always round out to looking better like that. It's kind of settles it down. Integrate background? I wonder what I'm going to do for background. I haven't decided. Honestly, I probably could turn up my lighting. It's a bit dim. Lowering it down was smart, but maybe not quite as much as I did. There we go, a little bit higher. That looks good. Okay. Honestly, the best picture, the one at the bottom, is also the kind of the easiest to light because of his position. The way he's positioned really has the light catch him just very simply. It's a very simple sort of thing to shade. There we go, I'm basically done just like that. However, I will be doing a bit more to him in a minute, so. First off, I think it would be nice if I added a little bit. Yeah, there. Okay. There's a reason I usually add like an extra bit of shading for bellies and stuff. I think it does a nice job accenting them. We'll come back to this though. But for now, this is pretty good. I might like... This looks a little strong. Also, if you ever like find a spot where the shade looks a little stronger, like right here, the spot looks like the shading's a little darker. Just, again, blur tool. Just attack it with the blur tool. Lightens it up so it doesn't look too prominent. So basically, lay down your shading or lighting lines, then touch them up afterwards. It's kind of what I do. Instead of trying to get the lines perfect when I place them, I can always just tweak them afterwards, so... That's the idea. Also, I was actually on the wrong layer. Hold on. There we go. Much better. He did indeed just place it. We've only been working for like an hour, though, because of my stupid delays. Alright, so that's good for that color. Let's go to the next color, which would be as fluff, I believe. Okay. Baadan has quite a few colors, but they're fairly easily distributed. Right. So for fluff... Oh my. It's a very robust red. I have to tone that one down a bit. Or opacity. Also, the trick I use is multiply and screen. You can see that over here if you look over in the lower left. Basically, to determine the best color to shade and light a picture with, generally speaking, the easiest thing to do is simply take the color you are working with. Take the color you are shading, say his yellow. Take that yellow color, make it the color that you have in your pencil, and then enable multiply with a color layer on top, or with a shade layer on top. It will multiply that color atop itself, thus creating a pretty good shading color. Sometimes you'll need to tweak it a bit more, but it generally works pretty well. With lighting, just turn on screen. Screen will create basically a lighter version of whatever you have selected, like that. And it, again, looks quite nice. Sometimes it needs to be adjusted as well. You can just play with the opacity of that particular layer. And obviously, I never shade on top of the actual color layer I'm shading. I add these. You see these little red lines? You may have noticed I've done this. What I'm doing there is I'm creating a I'm basically making a layer, and then hitting this button right here, this little check mark that says clipping group. If a clipping group is basically a layer that will only draw to the exact same area that the layer below it exists on. So in other words, if you draw a circle on a layer, and then you add a clipping layer to that, the clipping layer can only draw within the circle. It can only draw within whatever was drawn on the layer below it. Which is perfect for shading. Clipping layers are probably the most important thing about digital art. Clipping layers, because it lets you set up things where you're like working in a particular area without coloring outside the lines, because you've already colored in the lines elsewhere, you know? So you can just follow that guideline by clipping the layer. It's very handy. Oh, we went to non-Donkey Kong Country music again. There's one particular song I want, but I don't remember what it's named. Let me look it up real fast. And then I'll switch to KK music if you guys want to hear it. That's right, it's My Melancholy, that's what it's named. This song, I love it. Actually, I'll also play those. Okay, Donkey Kong Country 2 music, man. Bum, dum, bum, 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 da-da-dum, bum. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum. I'll put it this way, Donkey Kong Country 1's music, really good, generally pretty ambient. Donkey Kong Country 2's music still has some ambience, but almost always puts in a really good percussive bop with each song. Like this. Dum, dum, da dun, 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 bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Then put it down to some snares. The bop. The bop is why Donkey Kong Country 2's music is so good. Shin KK? What? Oh, you're helping Shin understand what the hell we're talking about. Yeah. Animal Crossing Doggo that does songs. I have a sound font from the GameCube version of Animal Crossing of KK's, well, sound effects, basically. And I can use them to remix songs. And I have done so with a few. This place is looking pretty good. This is a remix, mind you. Sega Genesis remix. Was not originally. It was originally a Super Nintendo game for those unaware of Doggo Country's existence. If you are unaware, you should probably go play it. It's good. Again, I recommend the second one if you just want to play one of them. I just like the fact that the game had a very wow-inducing, wow, it looks like a 3D game. And that was like a selling point, but it's not about that. It just looks nice. It's not just a gimmick. It looks nice, it plays great, it sounds great. It's a good game. That's a nice thing. It could have, if Rare wasn't a good company back then, it could have very easily turned out to be a gimmick, you know? Where it's an okay game, but it just looks nice. But no, it was a good game. Doggo Country 2 is definitely the best one. I think it's the one that holds up the best today. It has the best world design, has the best music, has the best bosses, has the best graphics, I'd say. Yeah, Doggo Country 3 and 2 and 1 look good too, but like I think the art design worked the best for 2. I think that was where they really nailed it. 3 technically had more fidelity in some ways, but I feel like the world was a lot less inventive too. Not bad. Doggo Country 1, DK Isle. It has a few different environments and island. Doggo Country 3, Appalachian, for some reason. Which is an okay environment, you know, Alpine and such, like, that's cool, but, then Doggo Country 2, Krim Isle, which had, like, all sorts of basically in enemy territory the whole time, and it was pretty great. Yeah, style appreciation. Yeah, so when 3D was just growing and stuff, people were always looking at, like, you know, this is what we care about, this is what we don't care about because of how it looks. It's just... Everybody had to jump onto the, we had to make our game look really good bandwagon, which is still a problem to this day. Have you seen AAA games? Have you seen their trailers on Steam where they don't show any gameplay? They just show how pretty they can make the game look? Still a problem. And yes, I do consider it a problem. Good graphics are good, but that should not be the focal point of a game. Ever. Oh, by the way, I remember how I said DKC2's boss theme is the best one? Here it is. Admittedly, I think the Genesis remix isn't quite as good as the original. I'm gonna have to put the original on after this. Still very good, though. It has a pirate jaunt. It has a perfect pirate sea shanty kind of feel, which is great because K. Rool is basically a, you know, pirate captain, effectively. At least he was in the first 2 games. Third game, I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, by the way, his fight's way better in Donkey Country 2 than it is in Donkey Country 1. Especially the bonus fight. I love the bonus fight against K. Rool in Donkey Country 2. Because it actually is realistic in a way. Weird statement to say. In Donkey Country 2, the final boss fight is against K. Rool. He has a blunderbuss with a bunch of cannons, and he has all these abilities. And he attacks you, and you fight him for a while. You hit him multiple times and take him out. And you knock him off his airship, and he goes to the secret world at that point. More specifically, he washes up at the secret world. And after you beat the secret world, you catch him literally washing up, getting out of the fucking sea, covered in seaweed. And the thing is, the second secret boss fight with him is not him being super powerful all of a sudden. He's still fucked up from the previous fight. And it shows that in gameplay because he's exceptionally defensive in the second fight. You only have to hit him once to beat him. But he doesn't leave himself open. He's actually smart, like, unlike most bosses in video games. He's smart and does not leave himself open. You have to endure a hell of a lot of fighting before you actually get a chance to hit him. Which, of course, takes him out. I really like that game design. Because the enemy, because K. Rool seems to be, like, intelligent about it, you know? He's not just boss exposing his weak point. He's very distinctively not, because after the first fight, he learned his lesson. I just kind of dig that. I don't see bosses do that in video games. Even to this day, that's uncommon. It both made it very... Because the second fight with him, it is harder, as a video game should be. The second fight with your main antagonist should be harder. But it's not harder because all of a sudden he's more powerful. He's actually weaker. He's just playing smarter. And that's why he's harder, and I like that. Also, I don't really like K. Rool in Donkey Country 3. For some reason, I don't know, I just have this headcanon that after Donkey Country 2 and after him getting beat up in that, he hit his head kind of hard and had, like, a delusion happen, and he thinks he's now a mad scientist. Because now he thinks he's a mad scientist. I don't know. He calls himself K. Roolenstein, and I don't know why. Why are you K. Roolenstein now? Donkey Country 3 confused me. He's way cooler as a pirate, like, not as a mad scientist. I don't know why he decided to be a mad scientist in that game. I'm still confused on that one. Nobody's done any theories on this. Like, why the fuck did he turn to a mad scientist? How do you go from pirate to mad scientist? Seriously. There we go. Gosh, I love this soundtrack, though. Alright, cool. The fluffles are shaded. Except for maybe a little touch-up over here. Again, the bop. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. The bop. Donkey Country 2's bop is so good. And honestly, the Genesis does a good job bopping to the... These Genesis remakes do a good job with the bop. So Sans is actually, in his second fight at the end, the famous fight, he actually dodges, like he's defensive. That's cool, actually. I like that. I'm glad to see more enemies do that. Because, honestly, when you refight a boss in a video game that you fought before and suddenly they're stronger, it can make sense sometimes that they're suddenly stronger, but a lot of times it's like, you beat these guys down and yet how do they come back even stronger? Like, sometimes it makes sense, but I like the idea of they didn't come back stronger, they're just playing smarter now. Sans is only 1 HP and only does 1 damage. In the first fight with Sans, did he also only do 1 damage? Is that just, like, is he just kind of weak, effectively? There is no first fight with Sans. Oh. Okay. Well, that doesn't quite apply to the logic, then. Because what I'm talking about is a refight situation. And how the refight, the character plays smarter. So technically Sans doesn't apply in this situation. Though it does sound like he plays smart, it's just... There isn't a precedent set where the enemy... See, what I'm talking about is the evolution of an enemy fighting you more directly, taking hits, not playing too smart, and being beaten. And then they come back later, realize they're not invincible, and suddenly start playing smarter, evolving from the first fight you had with them. That's what I'm talking about. It's cool that Sans has 1 HP, but there's really no build-up to that. So there's no payoff, you know what I mean? Sans is an example of a payoff. Sans is not an example of a setup and a payoff of a boss played smart. Conditions are vastly different, and that's cool. That's a gameplay change. I like that, but I'm not dissing the fight. I'm just saying it doesn't apply to what I'm talking about. Silly Undertale boys, Undertale fanboys bringing in a topic that doesn't actually apply because they're Undertale fanboys. Sans was watching you beat up fight the other boss to see how much you beat them all up. Well, that's fair. I guess there is some learning there. It's just not quite the same. It's maybe slightly adjacent, but it's not an example, I would say. Also here, Beerus, hope you stop complaining about the shade on the paws after I do this. There we go. There. Have your shiny paw pads and shush. Paws always need more attention. So what you're saying is that when I talk to Cairo later today about the idea of him drawing Baadan, it should be a paw-focused picture. That's actually a really hard one. I'm not sure what to ask Cairo for with Baadan. Maybe I'll see what Cairo wants to do, since he's offering. I don't know if he's offering to take a commission or offering to do a request. I'm not really sure. He could be... He's a swell guy, so it's possible he means either. And honestly, offering to do a commission is still very kind of him. He's not exactly... He's one of those sorts that tends to have, you know, a lot of slots filled, so... That's still a kind gesture. Never got the satisfied, got stuck in one of the dogs, why I wouldn't want to kill Puppy. Oh yeah, that would probably stop my genocide run too. If I play this game. Merging someone into his paw. That's not a... But it's not a Balakathy ability, though. Aha! There we go, Flanders. That's an actual example for the sound of it. Nicely done. You get a cookie. Yeah, I honestly forgot that I asked him about Baadan all those years back. But since you guys have... Like, you guys are interested in this character, right? It seems like people are like, when I brought Baadan out 8 years ago, I didn't really have quite the same following, so there was less people, like, going like, oh boy, I love this character. But now that I have a following to present him to, it is kind of nice to have a following to present him to. I feel like this big lug always deserves some attention. So getting him more artwork seems like a pretty good idea, I'd say. Does it have to be? Cairo is a flesh shaper thing. He could help with that. You know, now I'm thinking about it, this character is very relevant to Cairo. Because he does like the lizard boys. Granted, Baadan here is sort of a perfect lizard boy for those that don't like lizard boys. In a way. Because, after all, he's actually a mammal. He has a leopard gecko-like skin. He's got fluff. He's honestly got some traits like a big cat, as well. He's kind of got a feline drake mix to him. I mean, you can see that in the paws. Those are feline paws, for instance. Basically. Granted, he's got big, thick claws, unlike retractable cat claws. But, again, he's a weird hybrid of things. He's a Balukath, honestly. When you get down to it, you can't really pin one thing. You can't say he's like this creature, because he does have such a mix of details. The closest thing you could say is that he's draconian, because of his body shape. Which is fair. I don't mind him being considered draconian. He is not a dragon, but I don't mind the idea of draconian. Draconian means like a dragon, not literally a dragon, so. And actually, yeah, his leopard gecko spots, which are draws scribbles here, but beside the point. They do kind of remind of a cheetah a little bit with the feline traits he also has. His skin is very much leopard gecko skin, though. Smooth and bumpy. That is to say, his yellow skin. I would, his cream skin is just smooth skin. So basically, the bumpy part's the yellow. And Syria, what abilities does your Sandrake have? Well, that's mostly about. Hold on. Let me finish showing this. Let me finish showing this layer, and I'll show the image. I like how this song is gargling. It's his wind noise, but it's gargles. Okay. This is still the best one of the three drawings. I think this one Matt gets his personality down pat. Also, I keep pointing this out, but I'd like to point this out for any new viewers. This is actually a Vore picture too, this particular frame. It's a little more subtle about it. He's holding somebody in the crop of his throat here. It's very clearly that it's very clear he's holding them. He's not mid-swallow, he's just keeping them right there. That's just where he wants them for right now. It's good. I just really prefer it. I love it. It's so lazy. But also kind of peaceful. Alright. So to answer serious questions, let's go down to here. First thing, Baadan has a sand breath. There's a sac in his throat that lets him, that has a bunch of wet chemicals and such that are naturally produced. Sand can basically be swallowed into that. A different swallowing process. And then once stirred up with the chemicals, can be spread out in a breath attack that basically shoots about 175 feet, I believe, maximum. It has quite the velocity. And it's painful. It's it's not just like kicking sand in somebody's face. This could fuck you up. 150. Alright, fair enough. I forgot. How did you remember that? So, while they may not be dragons, they still have a breath attack. It's very practical, though. The claws are another ability. They're very, very big, meaty paws, very big, meaty claws. They're sharp, they're thick, they don't break easily. He could scratch through some rocks and leave some dents in them, and not break his claws. So these claws, if he elects to tear into something's body, there's not going to be much resistance, not even from the bones. He will be cracking those along the way. So he's not an angry creature, mind you, but he's got the ability to completely fuck somebody if he needs to. His jaw is very powerful. Teeth are omnivorous, so they're not the most effective carnivorous. Like, they're not purely carnivorous teeth, so they don't have the best ever biting power, like piercing power. But he nonetheless can get a grip on you, and more importantly, his jaw strength is such that he can crush bones. So, yeah. It doesn't really matter how sharp your teeth are when you can just crush the bones anyways. He's also the tail. Not only is the tail big and heavy and such that if he was really swinging it at you, even without the extra tail spikes, that would probably concuss you and possibly break some bones. Quite likely break some bones if he swung his tail just neutrally at you. Add on to the fact that he can indeed expand spines at the end, and that is very much a deadly weapon as well. They can't extend that far because they're limited based on the thickness of the tail, but nonetheless, it's unpleasant. And for most creatures, a deep enough pierce to do some damage. Because as a runner, he is fairly big, so. And yes, Blake. He can also use his jaws just to hold something and swallow it. He's generally the sort to prefer just swallowing things, but crushing, rending, tearing, and such is usually reserved for something that's actually a threat. And also, if he gets attacked by something large as well, he has plates along his back, which go the entire length of his back. And are in two sets, by the way. There's a set on the left of his spine and a set on the right of his spine. So these pair of plates, They're rock hard, thick plates. If something big enough to get its jaws around him could try to clamp on his back to like break his back, those plates would protect him. It's basically an anti-crushing. It's a defensive anti-crushing sort of feature. That's also why there's plates on the nose. Actually, it's not drawn very often. He's usually only drawn with one plate, but if you pay attention to this picture, he's actually got a nose plate and then one on the bridge of his snout as well. He has 2 plates on his snout. He's not often drawn with both, but yeah. So, obviously that protects his face as well. For instance, a claw swipe may just simply bounce off the plates rather than doing damage to his face. So, in other words, if he had to tussle with another Drake, another Balukath, or even like a Dragon, he has a chance. Dragons are technically still stronger than Balukathi, I guess, in that they have a little bit more. They usually have more of a magical edge, while Balukathi are purely practical. But it's entirely possible for a Balukathi to win against a Dragon. Kinda depends on the size difference, really. They don't have any resistances to, say, Fire Breath, though. They'd have to just not get hit by it. Or endure it. Heck, I'd love to see Baadan swallowing down a dragon. That'd be a pretty freaking awesome picture, actually. Like, just overpowering one. But yeah, Pop said I would still pet them. Thing is, I'm going over all of his abilities, all of his power and stuff. But the thing is, he's not a violent creature. If you are getting attacked by him, you fucked something up hard. It is your fault. Because he is honestly not violent and will generally try to parlay with any sentient creature. He wishes mutual benefit with other sentients. He will immediately go after prey animals, anything simple. He will immediately go after them as food, but for anything showing sentience, he will generally try to parlay. He'll generally try to work with them. If they're being assholes, though, they could probably die. So, you know. It's a banana dino, I don't know. Come up with a dinosaur name, if you want to. I didn't put a ton of thought into this. I just knew I wanted to design something a little bit unique, something a bit alien, something that isn't obviously just a real-life dinosaur, or, you know, an Earth dinosaur. I wanted to design something just a little bit different, something that clearly was otherworldly, because, again, he lives on his own... Baadan's on a separate planet, guys. The flora, the fauna, the sentient life, the civilizations are all different than what anything, you know, on Earth. So, yay. How would I react if I want to be eaten? He has no problem with that. Balukath digestive systems are actually pretty chill when they want to be. They're desert dwelling creatures, so their stomachs actually, they can control the digestion of food in them. The general idea of that feature is if they find a big food source, they can gnaw it all up at once, and then ration it out by simply digesting bits of it here and there, rather than all at once. Which is generally a great idea when you live in a pretty harsh environment. So in other words, they can throw stuff into their belly and then still ration the food while it's in there. What this also means is they can also gnaw friends without hurting them. And Balukath are... Sometimes Balukath will do it both in being playful. Playful nonce are a thing that Balukath may do to you. But in addition, they are actually known to swallow their young, and even other weakened Balukathi if they need to protect them. So, another useful feature about the controllable digestion. One has to wonder why Baadan's mother did not actually swallow him to protect him from the sandstorm after birth. The birth was unplanned. It was not at a good time. He came to term when his mom wasn't expecting it. But it does raise the question as to why she didn't eat him up to protect him from the sandstorm. That's actually something I haven't actually answered. I'm not sure why. She might have been in trouble herself. That might have been why. It's possible that her turn was brought on by an event, actually. For instance, imagine being attacked by some other predators, and then going into labor while dealing with them. That might have been the reason, something like that. Starving? Yeah, that is possible. Actually, that is one possibility. If a Balukath is starving, they may not be able to control their digestion. Their body will kick into survival gear and gurgle whatever. That is a possibility, too. As such. Improv canon. Sometimes the best canon is improv. I mean, that's D&D for you. Improv canon is basically D&D. Some may bulk at improv canon, but sometimes that's the best canon. Alright, next we do the ears. That is true, Ark. Yeah, the only canon I had decided before was that he was very much born at a time where he was not expected to be born. It's quite possible that she was brought to labor early by, say, trauma or stress. That happens. That's a thing. Ooh. Red. Is she still alive? You know, I haven't... Her lore... The lore about Baadan's birth does not address his mother after that birth. Actually, wait. That's not entirely true. I didn't get in... There's one part of the lore I didn't read the other day. And that's how Baadan and Guan met. Because Guan shares this world with him. Guan's species shares this world with Baadan's species. It was something of a collaborative effort. Pretty ears. I was gonna say that this color I just added is too red, but I actually kind of like it. I'm gonna leave it. It's a lovely appearance. I've got my singing voice today. Cool. Nice. Just realized that, like, oh, I could sing today. Cool. Some days my singing voice isn't as good. Some days it's better. It's quite possible that his mom died. I have to read back. I honestly have to read back the story. That was actually me putting up a question mark, Zero, not actually answering it. Let's see. I mean, I could read over the story. I know it's got some NSFW details in it, so I'll skip those, I guess. Hold on. That's part of the reason I didn't read the story, is because I know it's not fully... It's got a bit of an 18+ edge here and there. The species could have natural predators. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let me tell you more about Baadan's backstory. While I work on this picture, I will read it here and there. Let's see what we got here. While appreciative of casual company, Baadan never exactly grew truly close to many creatures, be they his own kind or others. In fact, he had lived most of his life as a loner, never having met a single other Balukath since leaving his mother. So at some point he left his mother. The question is that I did not answer what happened to his mother, but he left his mother in one way or another. While his intelligence encouraged him to gain more knowledge about the world outside, he still could not wholly disregard his species' instinctive distrust of other races, and preferred other sentient creatures' settlements. Wait, what did that sit? This sentence is weirdly written. I wrote it 8 years ago, so I'm not entirely sure why. Whatever, ignoring it. The story might be considered gift. Well, parts of it. There's just adult parts. It's just a story of multiple elements, and some of them are 18+. It's just kind of... So yeah, there's no real answer about his mother. The rest of it is about Guan and him, which is an interesting story, but I don't think I'll read that part. I would like to focus on the art right now. But, yeah, so there's no details here really about his mom. So it is up to us to decide, I suppose you could say. Also, I'm going to switch the music over, because it was brought up to play my KK music, and sure, why not? Since some of you are not aware of the resequencings that I've done here and there. Not just of KK music, but I have quite a few. I mean, let's see here. I have 435 items in this folder. Probably about 200 or more of which are songs that I have done in this resequencing style. So it's kind of a hobby thing I do. It's not really super official. Just something I do on the side for fun, basically. But here's the KK ones I've done. As it is a hobby, the quality can vary sometimes. Sometimes I'm putting more effort in, sometimes I'm not. It's supposed to be just for fun. It's supposed to be as a relaxation thing. Anyways, here you go. Welcome to Windows Media Player. No, I'm Windows Media Player. I'm not asking you to use Winamp, please. The tiles might be broken because of the resequencing. The sequencing program is not good at playlist titles for some reason. But whatever. KK111. That is possible, Serial. She may have found him later. Route 111 in Ruby Sapphire if there was dogs everywhere barking. So Ruby Sapphire Emerald's Route 111 if it was filled by Puchinas, I guess, because that was the dog of that game. A lot of Tuckers everywhere. It's a desert, so desert of Tuckers, I suppose. You know, I don't think I need to mess with the tug. It's already shaded, basically. KK Maze. Super Mario RPG Forest Maze. Okay, that's the eye layer. I'm basically done here. Oh, yes. Except for that. Did you stop playing games before I joined? Yeah, I was started with art, moving on to today's a bit of a variety pack. Art games will happen, but art to discussion. There'll actually be an interesting discussion piece to do after this. You'll see. Also, thank you, Shin. I felt like doing a bunch of Super Mario RPG music, so here's the Smithy fight. I actually had this really silly idea as I've been doing more KK music. It'd be kind of fun to make an RPG Maker game starring KK and just use this music around. Just nothing... The whole soundtrack just being these resequencings. I think that would be kind of cute. This would be the Final Boss theme. Good night to you, Cereal. Yes, I think the idea would work quite well. It'd be a bit mimetic, right? I think it would be very memeable. It would be silly, but also kind of really fun. I'd have to work on these a little bit. Clean them up a bit so they look better if I were to do that, but... There we go. Nice little bit of shading for the mouth area. I have done a surprisingly varied amount of music for this KK set. Actually, it wouldn't even have to be a KK game. It could just be a dog. It's just gonna be an RPG Maker game starring dogs. That would work too. Bye, Hyper. It's been nice to have so many people here today. I think we've been saying about 46. It's nice. It adds a good deal of conversation here. Also, it's nice to have a lot of people to share the KK music with, because while it may be silly hobby stuff I'm not doing too seriously, it's still nice to share it. I do feel like this needs to be a... I think an RPG Maker game just using all this music sounds fucking adorable, and I want to do it now. It's a shame I couldn't find one of the Akami songs I really wanted to remix. They weren't available as MIDIs. That's my limitation with this. I have to work off of MIDIs. I can make my own MIDIs technically, because I am able to compose via MIDI as well. But since this is a hobby thing, I don't usually go that effort. Yoshi's Island big boss fight. I was gonna do the overworld for the snowy region originally, Link, but unfortunately that song wasn't available. KK Big. I always name the KK song after part of the title or something of the original song. So this is the big boss theme. I named it KK Big. Alright, now to... So not add belly blush, but how I'm gonna do it. First off, his blush color would technically be orange. Which is an unusual color to blush, but it might work actually. Hold on. Ooh. Oh yeah, it would work. It will work. Oh, cool. Need to position it just right. KK Big sounds like a rap name. It does. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I don't really want to lose the lighting, so I'm thinking about how I pull this off. Actually, I could put it at the edges, yeah. That doesn't look half bad. Let me know if the songs are too quiet. Okay. I love this part. The barking instrument is my favorite one, if you can't tell. It's just so cute. It works so well on... It also works really well on a lot of notes. Actually, I have 2 of these. I wanted to try something different with one of them, though. Okay, now let's see here. Like I said, the official term for what I'm doing is resequencing. Though this would count as a remix. Because I had this idea. Okay, this boy looks pretty good. More or less happy with this. Maybe we could, What is this layer? Oh. Right. Just want to put a little more sheen on that belly. Just a little layer there. Probably same here, too. Like, I'm just like, I need a little bit more there. I don't know, what do you guys think? How's the boy? I think I'm good. I think I'm done. What cuddle? Yes. Agreeable statement made. Can I hug them? Yeah, again, like I said, they're friendly. They may have all this power and weaponry, but... say anything nice to them, they'll be nice back, basically. Actually, there's one more thing I want to do. Oops, wrong tool. That's the tool, yeah. A little darker in there. That's better. Okay. Yeah. Well, obviously, Baadan is just one Balukath. You can't speak for all of them. If some of them... they generally have a good sense of personality to them if you prove to be not a prey animal. You'll generally have good relations with them. But they are still semi-feral, so you have to mind that. Like, they may not always be predictable. But as far as Baadan, who has been brought into sentient celibates and has gotten smarter, he's pretty predictable. You can trust him, generally. Okay, last thing I want to do, maybe. I'm just considering this. Smaller tool. Tipting to add a little bit of a sheen. So actually, let me use a new layer. Because I think I want to do a slightly opaque shine, but I'm using a layer that already exists. Let's use a new one. And also, obviously, Pokemon Tower, Lavender Town. You didn't know this song, then where you need to rescind your Pokemon license. Synfont is used for this sort of thing. Family Tracker for original chiptune pieces is what I use. For doing this sort of thing, I take MIDIs and I run through Synfont, tweaking them there. How do you think you'd react to Progen technology? There are indeed some machine stuff. There is definitely machine stuff in the world he lives in, though he lives with Guan, who is an iguanaco, which are a tribalistic lizard species. They don't exactly have high-tech stuff going on. So he doesn't really see it much, especially out in the desert. The desert's not the place to get high-tech stuff, normally. So his opinion of machines? Noisy curiosities that smell sooty and kind of bad. He's not threatened by them, but he doesn't particularly prefer them. Remember, he can't see, so he can't look at, oh, that is a protogen. It's more, oh, that smells like metal and coldness, and, you know, it doesn't smell particularly appealing. And the sounds it might make, beeps or whirs or whatever. Curious noises he can't quite pick up on. Inorganic things, moving around, making noise and stuff. He doesn't prefer that because he can't, it's harder for him to understand or predict a non-organic thing like that. Because non-organic things don't have proper senses, like, they don't have proper sense. They don't have proper, you know, sounds that make sense to him and such. Because, you know, organic life has a lot of sense. You can pick up on what they smell like, you can pick up on their mannerisms and movements organically, based on sound. But robots, machines... I'm not sure if this universe has robots, actually, but machines... Machines are unsettlingly hard for him to read, basically. So they could be seen as a threat. Also, I had a little belly shine. What do you guys think? Good? I made it kind of subtle. I could make it brighter, but... If Protos are part organic, then he would probably still be able to pick up on that, but... I'll brighten up a bit. I have it at 75%. Let's put it at 85. 85. 85. There, thank you. I hate sliders. 85 looks pretty good. I like a little bit of belly shine. I think I'll just do it on that one, though. Looks good there. What did KK do to you? What do you mean? What is that statement for? What would happen if he ate a Progen? That would probably be disagreeable to his stomach. As far as water in his mouth, yeah, he drools. See? Blah. You hate sliders. Oh. I did? Sliders. Oh, yeah, because of the sliders on programs. I get it now. I get it now. He might hate the taste of plastic. Probably would. It again, he's not an object vorophile. Not to say he can't. He's incapable. He could, for instance, see this big old bony spade on the end of this dinosaur's tail? He could digest that. So, it's not like he's weak or anything. You're partly an object, Bob. Oh, it'll be sitting in his stomach for a while, but he could digest it. It'll just take a bit of time, that's all. Balukath digestive systems are very thorough at digesting any organic matter. Also, here you go, you freaking Undertale fans. I made this for you. KK Lovania. Alright, we gotta think about a background now. How shall we do this? Maybe I'll just do a sort of abstract sandy thing. Yes, I made all these. I'm a jack of all trades. Well, more specifically, just to be humble about it. Because I do like to point this out. These are resequencings. I work off of existing MIDIs. So, in other words, you can credit the original person who made the MIDI. Basically, they themselves resequenced the original music into a MIDI form. And then I took that MIDI and resequenced it into KK music. Give Baadan a glowing blue eye. No. I prefer his lovely cloudy blue eyes. He may be blind, but his eyes are very pretty. Look at his eyes, by the way. I put a lot of time into his eyes here. Because I wanted to make sure it was well reflected that he is blind. But I also wanted to make sure that while his eyes are blind, they are not necessarily dull. I wanted them to be pretty. I add the cloudiness And we do this. And... KK Gallery, the Ocarina of Time's shooting gallery. Actually, I should have gone the same direction. Alright. Sounds like a recorder's being tortured. Also, lazy little howls. No, that's not the color I'm using. I need to put down a color. Let's desaturate that. Actually, wait, no. Let's de-lighten that. Or lighten it more? Right, some experiments here. Okay, this might work. I'm having fun with this. I'm just kind of fucking around, but it's good. Ah. KK El Mariachi. El Mariachi. Mother 3 song because it was requested. Then the chat became a command chat. What is going on? Are you guys trying to... Oh wait, are you using the dirt commands towards Baadan right now? That's cute. That's fair. Interesting repurposing. Maybe that works, actually. Okay, fair enough. Maybe if we just... Ooh. Yeah. I suppose that's fine. What shade is that? Okay. I'm feeling alright with this. I think it's looking pretty good. I think what I want to do overall is slightly change all of their saturation together. Hold on. Then I've created kind of a cool blend. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, a little bit darker looks nice. Okay. Might go look at the figures a white outline. Yeah, that's the last step. I will do that at the end. But I think that's a smart idea. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Alright, next step. Here's the magical trick I can do with Psy. First, let me save the canvas. For some reason, the canvas is now... Now that I've had this background layer stuff, it's like, oh, I'm running slow. It's not really running that slow. It's just taking a while to save. This is a Puyo Puyo song. I didn't really like it. It's against versus Satan, because apparently you fight Satan in puzzle games, so that, why not? I don't think this one came out that well, but it was a request, so... More importantly, have KK Faith. Probably my favorite one, actually. I don't like Toho. But this worked really well. Yeah, I would say on record that this is the best KK remix I've done. So here's what we're gonna do with we're actually gonna add texture effects. So hold on a minute. Like this. You know, that was a really random choice of texture, but it actually looks pretty good. I think I'll use that. Actually, no. Maybe I won't. Because I kind of like that one, too. Maybe a mix, actually. Maybe I'll do a mix. This is why I like this song, this part. Where I made it sound exactly like the original song with KK's voice. I should really upload this to YouTube. Like, as a standalone. Honestly, I've been pondering uploading some of my resequencing work, I just haven't really done it. Alright, there's that one. Actually, no, I'm gonna just stack this over and over again. Hold on a minute. It's really nice. I'm just fucking around with textures right now, as you can probably tell. Best way to use them. Fuck around with them. What's your feeling of people just chilling in Baadan's mouth? Oh, he'd be fine with that. This little casual rider half lurked into the throat. He'd be okay of holding them like that. Lazy fellow would probably enjoy it. I really feel like filling that one area in. Hold on. It's kind of bothering me. Just a little too light there. That's better. Also, underappreciated soundtrack, Chrono Cross. KK Ancient. In which KK summons Satan from Puyo Puyo Puyo. I don't know. Alright, 10 looks pretty good too. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this background. Now I just do an overall color adjust again. And now it's blue. No. Now I think we should stay to warm colors, but I would like Baadan to stand out a bit more, so... I think the easiest way to do that is to make it just a little more red. Yeah, that's good. Plus, a little orange reddishness isn't inappropriate. He has orange and red. Yellow and red, really, but... And orange. Actually, that says orange. His tongue is like amber, friends. I tried to sell that here. I tried very hard. I added speckles and everything. The tongue is like soft amber. Which just makes it so attractive, in my opinion. His insides, meanwhile, have a nice ambery orange as well, kind of like his ears. His ears here, his ears demonstrate what he looks like inside too. That is his flesh color in general. His tongue specifically has an amber quality. The rest of his mouth, insides, etc. are a deep orange. Okay. KK Dreams, the world map theme of the other world in Chrono Cross. I'm debating adding an overall, so I added textures to a bunch of layers, and now I want to apply a texture to the layer group. This is the enhancing thing. So I kind of like, this texture's kind of cool, actually. I kind of like this texture. It kind of has a slight, I don't know, it feels a little like cave painting-ish or something. I feel like I'm getting some sort of sandstone texture going here now. This looks like a really pretty rock. I think I'm gonna actually hold on. I kind of like this. I'm gonna have to work to make Baadan stand out from it, but I do like it. Actually, you know what? Wait, no, not necessarily. Why don't I just make a little... Yeah, like that. Make it a little less vibrant. Okay, that's just really cool. Yeah, white outlines. I think that looks about right. That's about where I want it. Now, this is KK Every Day, the major boss song for Breath of Fire 3. Which is a really slick song. I like it. Also, I am going to move everything together now. Need to reposition center. I should have done that at the beginning, but whatever. Okay, that's good. Oh, it's gonna take a sec for it to move everything. A lot of layers. Whoops. I just punched my light. My lamp. Sorry, lamp. It's fine. I said turn it back on. I was doing a stretch and totally punched it. Alright, that's better. It's all good. Okay, so the picture... Alright, it's time for some outline fun. Let's see here. Should I do that in GIMP? Should I slip this over to GIMP real fast? Nah, I'll just do it here. Okay. Oh yeah, I should actually consider a texture for this. What texture? Let's see. How about... Yeah, that one. That's the one. Just a little slight little... It's sand, to put it simply. It's just a bunch of sand. It's a good texture. It'll do. Might scale down a bit, though. Not that much. Maybe like 75. If the slider would like to work with me. 77 it is! Thanks, slider! Oh yeah, this is another really good one. KK Hydrosity. I think it was... KJ... You know, KK Hydro. Is what it's actually supposed to say. It doesn't say it there, but... KK Hydro. Okay, so I determined the sand. Now to erase that. That was just there as a placeholder. I said erase. Thank you. But yeah, that'll be our sand texture. And now... Color may be changed, or may be kept, so I've yet to decide. But first off, preliminary, just dropping it down. Be a little bit messy with it. Might like increase the quality by like 10. Not last I checked. It's the same mic in the same position with the same settings as a moment ago. Did your ears just start working better or something? I mean, you are a freaking proto-gen. Maybe you had maybe it was a software update. I don't know. Concept. Baadan sits submerged in the sand, mouth open, using his tongue as a lure for a Vorish landmine. So, actually, Balukath do have a luring trait. How much of this could I discuss? Actually, you know what? I can discuss whatever the fuck I want. If Hugbees can do a Rule 34 showcase where he directly reads all of the stupid explicit dialogue, then I certainly could talk about this. So... Okay, to put it this very simply. Pros chirp. So, one trait I didn't talk about with Balukath because I wasn't hesitant to mention it. Because people are judgmental sometimes, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. Basically, I mentioned before that Balukath, both males and females, both have the ability to produce their Damare, which is a basically a super honey-like nectar. It's like a superfood. That's essentially their milk. They produce milk, but it's basically honey. Effectively. They both produce it, and the reason that you don't see them with like udders or nipples or whatever is because the access point to get to the teats is actually just inside the anal gland. So it's actually tucked away. This is a safety measure because, well, desert livers. You don't want to have exposed teats in a place that can have sandstorms. But since this is a superfood, it isn't just for younglings. It is for... even adult Balukathi may share of each other. If one's starving and the other one isn't, the one that isn't may share their nectar, basically, to help them out. It is a heavily nutritious nectar. Very valuable, not just to Balukathi either. So, on the subject of luring, they can actually use their butt to lure over prey that might want the nectar. Which is also why that smoothly segues into the fact that Balukathi could totally do butt Vore. In fact, it's kind of built in. After all, that's one way to get prey. They, as indicated earlier by the whole fact their belly can literally ration food, they have some decent muscular control, and that indeed sends things to the belly one way or another. Regardless of the way they came in. So... this knowledge feels cursed. I guess it all depends how you take it. I designed a lot of science behind these guys, so... this was not a fetish decision, as much as it may sound like it. More just wanting to do something different. Again, it literally makes sense for a mammalian desert dweller just to keep the teats tucked somewhere. And this is the most logical place biologically to put them. Oh, and by the way, it's cleaner than it sounds. They have a... they're sanitarily speaking, there's the milk organ, the nectar organ's tucked away kind of basically near the intestines. And the teats can actually tuck away in such a way so they're safe from, you know, the other reason that butts are used for things. So in other words, it's actually sanitary. Okay. Just playing around with this. Secondary reason, yes. Well, technically for them it is a secondary reason. The nectar is far more important in a way. Well, I mean, they're both important, but... oh, I see you're doing a pun. My mistake. I would have to think they'd have a special pipe to get from bit to stomach because that'd be a long trip otherwise. Actually, yeah, that's entirely possible. I haven't... their biology is always something that I could be revising, so that is possible. Blake, you can stay. What? Yes, Miss. To answer Miss' earlier question, their nectar teats are easily accessible from just a small push-in, though. It doesn't require much. But basically, there's a whole, like, flap system which protects the entirety of the nectar organs as a whole. Keeps them locked off from the other parts of the butt when the other parts of the butt are being used for, you know, disposal reasons. You probably don't want to pull a Balukathi's tail. The end of a Balukathi's tail has spines that can retract at a moment's notice. You don't want to be fucking around with their tail without them knowing, especially. Probably Vint as well, yeah. I mean, if you're friends with them, whatever, they won't retract those, but... So is Baadan with a giant, heavy sagging giant udder, like leaking nectar, a possibility? Not... I mean... Effectively, he has an internal udder. It's kind of... like... Because, I mean, like, butt, right? It's like, just, here's intestines, right? And belly. The milk organ is basically, like, here. It's kind of, you know, between... It's kind of, you know... It's in that... It's into the pelvic region, still. It's just within the pelvis, that's all. It's also part of the reason they always have thick legs. They tend to have a wide butt thigh region because not only because of general heft, but there needs to be room. For that extra organ. Horny gel. Wait, for what serious? What's serious say? I mean, that's not really horny gel. That's udder gel. It's like the Vore version of udder, whatever that would be. All right, well, let me keep working with this. I'm not quite satisfied, by the way. I'm gonna mess with this more. Let's see. There we go. Use noise for this. That'll do. And then maybe lower the density. I do like how me revealing this fact lit up the chat. Obviously, this would be polarizing to some. But again, I want to remind you guys that this is not an Earth creature. Their biology could very well have evolved completely differently than what you'd expect out of an Earth creature. But I still am very much trying to adhere to through his planet setting, you know? I'm trying to make him realistic for his planet, basically. Let's start experimenting a bit. Let's do this, actually. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. There we go. Should have thought of this in the first place. Now let's see if I can make it work. Isn't quite different from inguinal teats, which are common for Earth. What do you mean by that arc, actually? Like, what animals actually portray something similar on Earth? I'm kind of curious about that. Let's discuss. Biology is interesting. And Earth may be weirder than you think when it comes to biology. I have seen people attack some furries for having a trait on their character where it's like, eye roll, you did that just to be sexual. Then it turns out like, no, that's something that Earth animals actually have. So like this one, you know, like this species or that. Like this is stuff that's not even... For instance, do you want a good example of exactly what I'm talking about? Duck dicks. Actual real-life duck dicks are ridiculously long. It seems like some sort of like fetish design thing, but it's just how they are. So, Mother Nature itself can be quite horny. So, don't blame a furry for some detail you find sus. Mother Nature itself is sus. I think the better lesson in life is just chill out. Things are weird, and that's fine. You know, like you don't need to freak out about everything. Some people do, and it's kind of a lame way to live life. Cetaceans' teats are actually on either side of the genital slit and right near the anus. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Also, if you haven't learned to this point, I actually like discussing biology, even the weirder parts. I don't consider that to be a horny conversation. I consider it talking about biology, which is interesting. You know? It's scientifical, and that makes it interesting. I like science. Science is cool. Okay, now I need to ask myself, what am I doing with the these layers here? I mean, he's standing out more, but I don't quite like it. I need to mess with it more. Let's try changing the color a bit. Ooh, actually, wait. Okay. Okay. Let's saturate that. Yeah. And then lighten it. Oh, we've looped, by the way. I should probably change the music. Yeah, okay, and then let's try, okay, let's try... So now he's staying out, but I'm still having a problem with something, so let me try Blur Tool, 100% noise, density 50. Let's try this. Let's see if this completes what I'm hoping it will. I need to reduce the edges. They're too strong and distracting. Okay. Yeah, that might work. That's a bit better. Maybe not quite enough, though. I know someone whose character has 2 claws on one of his toes. Apparently that's something that kangaroos have. Oh, yeah! Kangaroos are fucking bizarre. Okay, another real-life creature that is bizarre in their biology. When it comes to a sexual detail, what is with nature and doing weird things to dicks? So in the case of kangaroos, if you weren't aware, kangaroos' balls are on top of their dick. So, yeah. Everything's up. Male kangaroos have things that are their things are upside down. They're inverted for some reason. I don't know why. There's probably a science reason for it. All life in Australia is absurd. Well, that's fair. that is somewhat true. Maybe support while jumping up and down. They do hop around a lot. Maybe that has something to do with it. Protect themselves when they get into fights. Oh my god. You might be right. It's because they do kick a lot. That's how kangaroos fight. Oh my god. Kangaroos evolved to deal with the kicked in the dick syndrome. They evolved to deal with that. That's kind of funny now that I put it that way. Or kicked in the balls, you know. Which is, of course, very painful, as some people know. Humans need to... yeah. Some humans would probably be like, I wish I evolved that. Chris blocked? I mean, it's in a... the teeth come out of a side vent just within the rectal area. I don't think that's true, Cinnamon, but then again, I don't know much about kangaroos. So, it's possible I just don't know. It wouldn't be the craziest thing. Also, I'm gonna shuffle the music again. Nature's weird, but also that's why it's so interesting to read up on it. I'm gonna have to label this YouTube episode as adult content light. Oh well, whatever. It's fine. The light setting for adult content doesn't actually demonetize the video. And I say light because we're not trying to be all horny and stuff. We're actually discussing science. This is actually exactly what the light setting for adult content is for on YouTube's Kappa thingy. So, it's fine. Do you guys think the Baadan looks okay? I'm feeling like it's more or less good. Maybe I should, like... No. Need this. Nah. I was hoping it's not distracting, the outline. You know, I'm just gonna, you know, there's a quick way to solve that problem if I feel like that is the problem. Just the overall opacity. Like that. See, that's good. Oh yeah, the boy pops just fine in that opacity. Though it also might be helpful to, there. Okay. One other little thing I'm gonna do. A little lighter, okay. Gotta lighten up just a little bit on the texturing. There's two ways to do that, actually. That'd probably be the easier way. Hold on a second. Alright, let's see. Yeah, just a little bit less bright on texturing. Okay, good. Still get that lovely texture in the background, but just make it so it doesn't pop against Baadan too harshly. Alright, and then that means I could also probably... 60? Yeah, probably. By the way, guys, should I order some food? Hyper donated earlier to give me some ice cream sandwiches because he wanted me to have comfort food because I've been stressed. I can't buy ice cream sandwiches with some food order, but I could get some comfort food if that was the goal he wanted to set for me. Which it seems like it was. There we go. Finally getting this to look... I wanted a texture around the border of him, but I didn't want it to be very strong. Okay, that's better. I'm feeling less annoyed now. I wanted to kind of dissolve nicely into the background, but also pop him. There we go. I think that's good. Now he pops, but in such a way that I don't feel like it's distracting. Okay, I'm satisfied with this picture. I think we're done. It is your choice in the end. I mean, heck, you guys have been so nice that it makes it a very casual sort of thing I can decide. Yeah, sure, why not? Why not? Let's see what's available right now. Well, actually, let me see that after we finish, because we're basically done here. I think I'll do one more thing to the background. And this is sort of a... how to put it? A little idea. So... oh yeah, let me turn off the blur texture. I don't need that anymore. There we go. Alright, so if I zoom myself out and I do this... Not quite what I wanted. Though. Does this species chase their own tails? No? I mean, they have full control over their tail spikes, but I don't think you'd want to be chasing a tail that can also poke you in the eye. Or worse. Sorry, blind. It's not a problem. Though honestly, if they wouldn't mess with their tails, they would be fine. They have full control over those spikes coming out, so... I will say, though, it may not be safe to spook a Balukath, as it may cause them to tense out their defensive muscles. So suddenly, you spook a Balukath, suddenly it has its tail spikes out all of a sudden without it meaning to. So, yeah, may not be the best idea. Also, I'm done here. I'm satisfied. I can see some of them digging derpy enough to do it, yes. I could see them doing that as far as play. Especially, like... Okay, thank you, Sai. I don't know why you went literally black for a second, but alright. I saved Sai, and it just blacked out for a minute. Okay, we probably should stop the project before Sai loses consciousness, apparently. But yeah, we're done here. I think I'm pretty satisfied with how this one came out. But, yeah. Good project, honestly. I'll get this uploaded to the Discord. Obviously, the link will be in the YouTube video description as well, if you want to look at it for full. Or save it. That's fine by me, I don't mind. Just don't steal, you know. I'll know. I approve. That's the thing, I always make my images available because I'm pretty chill about that. But if somebody were to steal, I would pursue that somewhat. But I don't care too much, honestly. But yeah. But yeah, so that was the Sedimentary Sand Drake Part 2 finished. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And I guess now we'll move on to other things.